All right, since we're rolling, hello, good football to all. I am your host, Ryan. With me are our stats guru, AJ, our fantasy football oracle, Colt, and our resident Raiders fan and Patriots hater, Jeff. On this podcast, we talk football and only football, so help us God, despite the fact that we're going to talk about the Roan here quite a bit, I'm sure, this week. Welcome to Week 13. This is the virus episode. Gentlemen, shall we football?
Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Cough, cough.
Sounded like a dry cough, gentlemen. Sounded like a dry cough.
Exactly what it was.
Yep. Before we talk about Week 13, got to talk a little bit about Week 12, which just ended about 20 minutes ago on a Wednesday night, which is strange. Strange to anybody else to be watching football on a Wednesday night.
Well, you know, everyone gets off at 3:40 in the afternoon on a Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm sure the ratings for that game, the Steelers-Ravens, are going to be just impeccable. We begin with surprises each and every podcast here at Shall We Football. What the hell happened is our surprise segment every week. And I'm going to start this week with Jeffrey. Jeffrey, what the hell happened this week in Week 12?
I hate that I'm going to say this, but what the hell happened to the Cardinals losing to the Patriots?
Oh, Jeff, your shining moment. 3 is softballing.
Yep.
It went with the Cardinals.
Yeah, this doesn't change your feelings about the Patriots, yeah?
No, not at all.
Not in the slightest.
I'm going to sound a lot like a mouth breather. God almighty.
I am a mouth breather. I take offense.
Hey, Eli Manning takes offense to all mouth-breathing slander. On this week, the coronavirus podcast episode of Shall We Football, mouth-breathing is acceptable. At least one of us has tested positive when this episode comes out. We're not going to tell you who it is. It's a guessing game. But what did happen to the Arizona?
It will be revealed before the end of the podcast.
It will be revealed before the end of the podcast, and that's a promise.
See
one of us is having
who hasn't.
Yes, one of us is having a Michael Jordan Rona game right now as we speak. So what the hell happened to the Cardinals? They held Cam Newton to 50% completion, only 84 yards in the air with 2 interceptions, and they still lost. What happened, fellas?
Kyler's hurt. And Belichick defense came out, man.
That's that nagging shoulder injury.
Yeah, his responses to it weren't exactly like, I don't know. It was a little disheartening, some of his comments. Like he played it off, but I don't think he's right.
He was not right the rest of that game against Seattle. I can tell you that just by watching.
Definitely not.
And that happened early in that Seattle game, or they very well could have beaten the Seahawks for the second time this season.
Yeah, for sure. And Belichick is really good about taking away your top option. DeAndre Hopkins was pretty quiet in this game too, forcing Kyler to go elsewhere. And right, thank you. And he didn't really run that much.
No, he didn't. A sore shoulder doesn't exactly help hinder your running ability, just the ability to take hits and
get slammed on the ground, yeah.
And get slammed on the ground. There is that. Yeah, that is definitely a huge surprise in Week 12. Colt, what the hell happened this week?
I'm going to take like an interesting tact here because the Broncos were allowed to play with no starting quarterback.
Love it.
A forced wide receiver, former college quarterback in Wake Forest, Kendall Hinton, was thrust into the starting role as all 3 of the Broncos quarterbacks were COVID close contacts, ineligible to play. So
we're tougher. We are one of us here is tougher than the Broncos quarterbacks.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. I'd say all 4 of us.
Yeah,
they were smarter.
I would say so as well.
Yeah. So that was kind of my what the hell happened. It wasn't necessarily the game outcome, because I don't think that surprised anyone. The Saints defense is playing better than ever. And the Broncos roll out a wide receiver. He completed one pass for 13 yards.
It's what he'll tell his grandkids about when he sits them on his knee in the back on the back porch.
Right. Technically,
Youngins.
he completed 3 passes. 2 of them were interceptions.
1 month I was selling car insurance. 3 weeks later, I was on a practice squad, and the next week I was a starting quarterback in the NFL. Grandpa, how'd you do? Not great, but I completed a pass.
He was chucking it, though. He threw up some deep balls.
He's got a good stroke. I went back. I watched a little bit of his tape from Wake Forest. He's actually got a pretty decent stroke. He's not bad.
Boys, did Alvin Kamara get hurt, or did he just not play much?
Whoa.
I don't think he had to play much.
Yeah, I think a lot of that was game script. He does have a nagging toe issue going on. And also, he's not doing the same things with Taysom Hill. He has 1 catch the past 2 games for -2 yards. And
Has not had to do the same things with Taysom Hill. That's for sure.
Exactly. So the offense is just different.
As well should have been expected by us because we are fantasy football and professional football viewers.
Savants.
Yeah,
Savants.
I was going to say experts, but then I wanted to tell the truth, and so I just said viewers.
Yeah, we err closer to the idiot side than we do the savant side. Real quick shout out to the Denver Broncos and their defense. Actually, 31 points does not indicate how well they
did play well
because they were put in the worst positions over and over and over again because the offense's inability. Yeah. They still went ahead and sacked the quarterback, and this is on 16 dropbacks, okay? They sacked the quarterback 3 times, and they got 3 extra hits on him. So, I mean, they're pressuring the quarterback at the almost 50%, a little under that, which is pretty remarkable, and yet they give up 31 points. I hesitate to say they give up 31 points.
But that is a defense with literally nothing to play for. They knew they're going to lose that game, and they still showed up and played their little hearts out. God bless them.
Their leading tackler, 9 tackles, was defensive tackle Draymond Jones.
Wow.
It's impressive. That is impressive. AJ, what was your what the hell happened this week?
Jeff, man, what the hell happened with the Las Vegas Raiders? Oh, man, that was the biggest shock of the week by far.
Absolutely.
They stayed in Vegas.
Yeah, it feels like they did because Josh Jacobs ran seven times for 27 yards, which is that has to be his lowest output of his career. I'm not certain of that, but has to be pretty close. Derek Carr, 14.3 QBR.
Well,
he had a couple fumbles. He got smashed from behind. Protection wasn't great. No, he did not see those 2 hits coming and lost the football a couple of times too.
They lost it 5 times, or they fumbled 5 times, lost it 4, and Derek Carr went ahead and accounted for 3 of those and didn't recover a single one of his fumbles.
Wow. Well, that's because he was flat into the earth. I'm fairly certain he became one with the terrain.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Atlanta
that's melding with nature right there.
Yeah.
Becoming
Atlanta's defense. They've been playing low-key pretty good, man. Who knew firing a defensive-minded coach would actually improve the defense?
He was just not fit for that.
No,
I mean, the organization was in a place where they just don't have the horses on defense. They have a couple guys that are just – Deion Jones is amazing. I think A.J. Terrell is good. And I'm pretty sure they were out Grady Jarrett. I think he's out, and he's
I
by
think so.
far. I mean, he's one of the best defensive tackles in the game.
For sure.
They had 5 sacks, by the way.
Yeah.
And then went ahead and added 6 quarterback hits.
And the Raiders got very little pressure on Matt Ryan in that game from what I saw.
Yeah.
They had 8 quarterback hits and 1 sack. So when they were putting pressure, nothing happened. Matt Ryan is as close to a statue of a quarterback.
Yeah.
Second only to touchdown Tommy.
Yep.
In his statuesque nature in the pocket.
In his 5.4 40-yard dash, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a blazing 5.4. He's sneaky.
I think he had the little khakis on out there and back in the combine those days. He had a little pair of khakis on.
That makes sense.
Running the 40 in his Dockers.
Exactly.
Gotta say, the all-black unis those Falcons ran out there. You knew the Raiders were in trouble. Any team that wears all black, they look
intimidating.
Sharp, they look fast.
Yeah,
they look
intimidating.
Fast.
Yes.
Yeah, my what the hell happened to the week? 49ers over Rams. The Rams looked really, really good and looked like they may be able to put a couple of things together, and they just didn't. They just didn't do it. And like I told Dad last week, AJ, I told him that Jared Goff is one of those prove-it quarterbacks to me, that he has to prove that he can do it on a consistent basis. And he proved me right, as he continues to be a prove-it quarterback, because he was just not on a consistent basis this week. That was a big surprise for me against a 49ers team that is continuing to play with mostly practice squad players because of injury, not because of the COVIDs. And they just took it to the Rams on their home field. And the 49ers aren't even going to be playing their home games in San Francisco for the next several weeks.
Yeah.
So a lot in flux for that franchise. They came out, they played a good game, they beat a good football team.
And they still have a shot. They still have a shot to get in as a wild card.
I was about to say that they are not done as a playoff team. They could sneak in.
Defense played really well too. They got Richard Sherman back.
Yeah,
that helped things. He had a pick.
Yeah,
they got Mostert back.
Yeah, this week was just full of just eye-poppingly ridiculous things that happened. Can we talk a little bit about Thanksgiving Day? Are we going to save that one? Are we going to save Thanksgiving for our
follow
picks?
Your lead?
Let's talk briefly about
master.
Thanksgiving Day. Let's talk briefly about Thanksgiving Day. We have traditional matchups, or at least traditional teams on Thanksgiving Day. Those traditional teams have a tendency to at least get off the bus. At least, wait to think about which pie they're going to eat first. Pumpkin, pecan. Do they like cranberry sauce out of the can? Or do they like it actually made with real cranberries? They don't discuss those things until after the game.
Mm-hmm.
Those discussions started pregame for the two traditional teams that play on Thanksgiving. Their minds weren't on playing football.
So
what the hell happened on Thanksgiving?
Scratch that. Let's save this.
I had a feeling that these were going to be coming up in just a few minutes.
We atone for our sins.
Yeah, I had a feeling that at least one of those were going to come up here in just a few minutes when we talk about records and our sins. Before we do that, though, we do need to get to our best player of the week. Gentlemen, who is a COVID survivor in the NFL? The Cam Newton Award for surviving the Rome in Week 12. We'll start with AJ. AJ, who is your COVID survivor of the week?
Ryan, I'm going to head to Homersville and talk about TJ Watt and his.
I was going to go there if you didn't.
I got you. So 7 tackles, 4 solo, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, and 3 quarterback hits. He spent a lot of time in the backfield. And
He really
not,
did.
Not the Steelers' backfield.
Right.
Although I wouldn't put it, past him. If Vita Vea can catch touchdown passing, JJ Watt can easily. Yeah.
They showed a clip of him, and he was covering. He was out in coverage against somebody that was real fast. I want to say it was Marquise Brown. And he was step to step with Marquise Brown in coverage.
Yep.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm surprised every time they give up a point.
Yeah. With the players that team has on that defense, they should not have given up a single first down to that Ravens team with RG3 at the helm.
Indeed.
He was phenomenal tonight. In a weird COVID-plagued Wednesday night debacle in Pittsburgh.
With a Trace McSorley sighting. Let's go.
Yeah.
With something called a Trace McSorley out there throwing his first career touchdown pass. Jeff, who was your Corona survivor of the week in Week 12?
I'm going to go 2 weeks in a row with Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
Not a bad one. Not a bad one. And who knows, in that Titans outbreak, he could be a legitimate Corona survivor.
God.
Was he one of the
yards.
23? He could be one of the 23.
I don't know if you can keep that body off of the football field if it wants to be there.
If
Who's
it
going to stop
desires, not coronavirus.
Who's going to stop him? Unless they threaten to take away his entire salary. I don't. There's no human that can keep him off the field.
No.
I think maybe we have to go back to Vita Vea. They'd have to pay him extra.
Yep.
I don't think that they would, even if they took his salary away, I think he would be there out of spite.
I heard a funny
spiteful.
I heard a funny take on Derrick Henry, just as like from an acronym perspective. They call him Triple D, double digit Derrick. We're in double digit weeks in the NFL. That dude has gone full Yeti mode, and he is going to smash the end of this year.
Yeah, all them Sasquatch hunters out there in the Pacific Northwest, they found him in Nashville.
Yeah.
They slapped the foot. Yeah.
Unidread intact and all.
All those Bigfoot hunting shows, they're looking in the wrong spot. Go to LP Field in Nashville. That's where you find him. He's wearing 22. You can't miss him. He's running down the football field.
He had some nice moves in this game, too. I watched a fair amount of this game. He looked shifty. I mean, he actually caught some passes as well.
For being 6'9" and 385 pounds, he can move a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, full-on locomotive. Good luck stopping.
You know what? All those compilations that they have of big men scoring touchdowns, Vita Vea.
It's just all be Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like you could just watch highlights of Derrick Henry.
He is remarkable. He really is remarkable. Great pick for your Rona Survivor of the Week, Jeff. Good job. Colt, your Rona Survivor of the Week.
I got to go Tyreek Hill, man. 13 catches, 269 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Nice.
I think he had a 203 or 4 yards and 2 TDs in the first quarter or first half at least.
First quarter.
That dude was just unstoppable. It's fun to watch. And I really missed most of this game because I went into work for a couple hours just to help out. And I came home and I caught the last bit of the game, but I watched the highlights and I was rejoicing.
Yeah, and
So
shout out to the
somebody-
Bucks for keeping it a 3-point game. Scored
Absolutely.
I was about to
14
say,
points in the
if-
fourth quarter.
if somebody told you that Patrick Mahomes, he threw for 462 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, and Tyreek Hill had 269 yards and 3 touchdowns, how much do you think they win by?
21.
$1 billion.
Yeah.
Yes, they just beat somebody 42-12, right?
Right.
Yeah, nope, they won by 3.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. And if I may just give an honorable mention, because it's really good to see this guy back on the field, Austin Eckler, back for the Chargers. He only had 14 carries, 44 yards. He had 16 targets, 11 receptions from those targets, and 85 yards. And he was inches away from his first touchdown. So he's my hammy survivor, if I may just throw that in there.
That's all right. He survived something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's well, shout out to hamstring survivors. They're out there. Julio Jones, he's part of that club.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. For my Rona survivor of the week, I'm going to go Deshaun Watson.
Nice.
He
Good
was
pick.
incredibly efficient against the Detroit Lions for a 4-7 football team that don't really have a whole lot to play for anymore other than pride. 17-25, 318, and 4 touchdowns. He also did a little bit on the ground, but not quite as much as you'd expect from a Deshaun Watson. This is still what a phenomenal game from Watson on Thanksgiving Day. Short week, big stage, big time performance by Deshaun Watson. Dabo Swinney called him the Michael Jordan of football, and somebody here is the Michael Jordan of podcasting. Rona game. Here we go.
Oh,
Let's
hell.
roll.
My goodness.
I really think Deshaun Watson.
You know what, Ryan? You're my MVP of the week.
Thank you, AJ.
Boom.
Thank you, AJ. I
There
do
it
it for the
is.
people. I do it for the people.
People love it.
We're here.
Oh, the people love it.
I feel like Deshaun would be in the MVP conversation if the team had a better record. I mean, he's playing at an MVP caliber level, I feel like, this year.
He is living up to that contract. That is 100% sure.
And they started the year against the first 3 games were brutal matchups. Pittsburgh, God, it's so far back now. But the first 3 weeks of Houston's season were real tough sledding on the defensive front. And he made it out all right, but he's been shining.
You can just say Pittsburgh and then Bill O'Brien and then Bill O'Brien and then
And
Bill
enough
O'Brien
said.
and then they fired him. Now they're okay again.
Hit the lights are on.
Yeah.
So
now they're all right.
He averaged 12.7. He averaged a first down per attempt. Not completion.
Yeah.
Per attempt, he averaged more than a first down, which is outrageous. Plus, just for good measure, he added 24 yards on the ground, just to remind people that he can.
Yep. I love it. Deshaun Watson is so much fun to watch. He is among the most exciting players to watch, regardless of how good or terrible his team may be. Brings us on to another exciting segment, the No Pants Award. The No Pants Dance Award. Given to those of us with the best record that we picked in week 12. And for that, the man with the spreadsheet, all the numbers, AJ, take it away. I have to sneeze.
As daunting and confusing as all these numbers are to me, I did manage to suss out that Colt, my friend, you may remove your pants.
Hey. Where
11 and 5. 11 and
Nice.
5.
All right.
You snuck by the rest of us.
11 and 5 or 10 and 6. Are you sure?
I'm not sure of anything anymore.
Hold on. I had to write Colts down last week because he wasn't present with us. So 1, 2, 3. Well, yeah, I think it may be 5.
Yeah.
2, 3. 4.
You know what because
It
I
was
wasn't
5.
with you guys, I was sitting in my
11
car
and 5.
before I walked into work. I looked at the matchups and I just instinctual, boom, 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 just typed it out. Didn't even think about it.
Go with your gut.
Exactly.
Good job.
Ryan, our next award is Biggest Idiot of the Week. And you ran away with that one. 9 and 7. I say ran away. It was pretty close, as it always is. But you managed to suck the most. So you have to keep your pants on.
I have a built-in excuse, gentlemen. I may or may not have had coronavirus when I made my picks.
Okay.
I am almost positive that I was positive.
Your sunny demeanor. It's never lost on me.
I once Thanksgiving Day rolled through and I saw how poorly I started the week, I had a feeling I was going to win this prestigious, coveted award.
All right, kids.
Does that mean I only have to put my pants halfway back on since they were off last week?
I don't think we've addressed our stance on what the folks who don't get the Biggest Idiot Award or the No Pants stance or get to do the No Pants stance. I'll allow it.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll allow it. I'm fine with it.
No lower than the knees, sir. No lower
I don't
than the
want to
knees.
think about it very
Don't
much.
plan on it.
You're not a psychopath.
Easy over there.
Jeffrey?
Good,
Properly, it hurts
God.
my throat.
AJ, the floor is still yours, sir.
I love it. I love having the floor. So, Ryan, you could have gone chalk on this very easily, and you chose not to. Why'd you pick the Chargers?
I picked the Chargers because I was a believer in Justin Herbert's horrible haircut. I thought for sure the 12-year-old boy look that he allowed the strength and conditioning coach to adorn upon his head, despite the fact that he had beautiful, flowing, Samson-like locks. All of his power was sucked away. I also didn't believe in the Bills' offense, which was a mistake on my part, to be really honest. Josh Allen didn't do a whole lot to make that a whole lot different in my brain, but that was a mistake. That was the Rome talking, gentlemen. That was the Rome talking when I picked those Chargers.
I feel like that was just you talking.
You might be right.
Jeff, the Jets.
Nothing ugly about you should have picked somebody else or anything else like that. I knew you were going to go with the Jets. I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I didn't know that Mr. Tagovailoa was not playing, that it was going to be Fitzmagic. If I knew Fitzmagic was playing, I would have picked the Dolphins over the Jets. I just felt the way that the Jets played last week, maybe they had the opportunity to get one if Mr. Tagovailoa was not playing.
Could you say that one more time?
That was crisp.
Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
That was beautifully said.
It was.
We really do need to get Evan on here and
I know.
have him. It would be a great time right now with his Rona voice.
Yeah, it would. It would.
So real quick, Colt and I, these are interchangeable. I picked the Lions. I also picked the Cowboys. Colt, you don't really have too much that's egregious here. Everything you missed, we basically all missed.
Okay.
So you can atone for a number of different things here. We chalked it up and all missed on 5 games.
Wow.
Cardinals,
A consensus of stupidity 5 times.
Wow.
Cardinals, Cowboys. Who else?
Rams, maybe?
Probably the Rams.
Cardinals, Cowboys, Raiders, and Colts.
Wow.
Yikes.
Yikes is right. Colts, give me 12 Hail Marys, and if you can hold a plank while you do that.
Hey, you got it. Consider it done.
You got it. Okay. I picked the Lions. I might do it again. To be honest, I might, I might do it again. Also, going forward, Notre Dame's own Will Fuller put up 6 catches for 171 yards. That's an average of 28.5 a catch. That's 2 touchdowns, and he's only targeted 7 times. And then he tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs. Yeah. I'd say his performance was very enhanced.
It sounds enhanced.
Yeah.
Joke's on you, AJ, for Colts pennants. He's already been doing a plank this entire podcast. You just didn't know.
A pants? Well, I'm sure. How do you take your pants off while planking?
He's an impressive specimen.
He's advanced.
Yeah, it's all in the tech. It's all in the technique. You're right, Jeff. And now it's time to preview Week 13. Week 13, can it possibly have as many surprises as Week 12? With 5 games we all felt really certain about in Week 12. Oh, boy, how many can we all get wrong this week? Let's rock and roll, starting with the NFC South. The Saints and the Falcons. Falcons stepped up and put 43 on Jeff's Raiders last week. Do you see that happening against a very good Saints defense, or do they come back down to earth? AJ, you begin.
This one's really tough without Drew Brees. Last game was not – I don't think it says anything. There's nothing to go off of sans Brees.
I agree.
There's nothing to be learned from that game, unfortunately for us. So
agreed.
The Falcons are hot, man. The Falcons are real hot right now. And for them to limit the Raiders the way they did was shocking to me, especially in the way that they did it. Now they're without Grady Jarrett, their best player on defense by a small margin, because Deion Jones is in the class of Bobby Wagner and formerly Luke Kuechly. He's just that good of a player, but he can only be at one place at one time. I think Sean Payton figures out a way, and I think that defense limits the Falcons. So I'm going to go Saints.
Yeah, I went a little out of order. I'm supposed to go first, according to AJ in our bylaws of the podcast. I apologize.
I'm just channeling the football gods, my friend.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Football gods out there just protecting all of us. To AJ's point, this game is more difficult to predict than you would think. Vegas only has it at a 3-point line for the Saints. I do think the Saints are just an overall better football team, and their defense is significantly better than the Raiders. I'm sorry, Jeff, but they just are. They're going to get more pressure on Matt Ryan and force him into a few more mistakes than the Raiders defense did. And the Saints, I do think, are capable of scoring points with Taysom Hill at quarterback. And I do think they do keep pace. I also picked the Saints. Jeff, your thoughts?
I have really no other thoughts than what you guys have already said. I'm going.
Oh God.
Yep. Jeff is speaking from a cave now.
Am I far away?
You're back. You're back.
Yeah,
You came down.
would you
from the
act like a
tree.
professional, please?
Speaking of the mic,
At least
Jeff.
pretend.
Really, AJ?
Can we move on?
Thanks.
Colt.
I'm gonna have to go Saints on this one. I feel like the better team all around. Atlanta has been hot. Their defense looked great last week too. I think Saints, Taysom and the Saints will take better care of the ball. I wonder if Julio and Gurley will be back for this game, because if not, I'm definitely going Saints. I don't think Matt Ryan. Rule number 11: if Julio is out, so is Matt Ryan, in my book.
I like that rule. I do like
Yeah.
that rule. They're going to add that to wedding crashers too.
Yes, they should, because I've seen enough of a sample with Matt Ryan, sans Julio, that he just doesn't play well, man. He looks relatively lost out there, and that's going to give the edge to the Saints even more. I do kind of feel like Julio may play this week. Even so, I think the Saints are a better team.
All right. Next game, the NFC North. The Bears, once upon a time in this football season, they were 5-1. They were a 5-1 football team. They are now 5-6, playing the Detroit Lions, coming off a very disappointing Thanksgiving performance, but they do have a little extra rest. Game is in Chicago, which means it's outside. It is December. It will probably not be super pleasant, to say the least. I am going to pick the Lions in this one. Vegas has the Bears -3, giving a field goal, but I am sticking with Matty Stafford, picking the Lions because I think they can score into the 20s, and it's Mitchell Trubisky at the helm for the Bears. That's all I have to say. AJ.
I'm going to go Bears here. They allow the second lowest completion percentage on defense. This is also amazing. The Steelers allow 54.8, which is the best. Bears at 62%, which is the second best. That's incredible passing defense. I just want to shout out the Steelers real quick. Also,
elite defense.
Elite, capital E. So they are third in third down percentage against at 34.8. And in red zone percentage, this is against touchdowns, they are second at 48.7. As inept as that offense is, that defense is stellar. And I think that if Matty Stafford had issues with the Houston Texans garbage pile of a defense, that the Bears are going to give him problems. So I'm going Bears, despite the fact that actually they don't get great pressure on the quarterback, but they just play that good of they just play that good a pass defense in coverage. So I'm going Bears.
All right, Jeffrey.
I like Matty Snapback.
He likes Matty Snapback. I love it.
There you have
Let's go Lions. Jeff getting on the Rona train with the Lions. Colt.
I'm picking the Bears here. Soldier Field at home. Like AJ referenced a couple weeks ago, that the home field advantage is different this year. It's not so much a crowd advantage or whatnot, but there's no travel, and you're playing at home. So also, Mitch Trubisky, career games against the Lions, he kills them. He shreds the Lions. I'm kind of a believer in Trubisky. I mean, he didn't look great last week by any means. And game script lent itself to garbage time, but like AJ just mentioned as well, if Matty Snapback, as much as I love him, man, but he really struggled against a terrible defense of Houston. I'm going to have to go with the Bears here.
Anybody fantasy-wise in that game, Colt, you may be looking at?
David Montgomery.
Thank you for saying that. I will take that to heart because I needed him last week.
Fire him up.
All right. Browns and Titans, a couple of 8-3 teams. Two kind of similar-ish mentalities in this game. They both love to run the football. Browns by committee just a little bit with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. The Titans have a rhinoceros in the backfield, as previously discussed. In Nashville, weather, not sure what that is supposed to be by the time Sunday rolls around. Tennessee given 5.5 in this one. The Browns have not scored points in general in the last several weeks. That defense has just been good enough to win. The Titans, however, they tend to score quite a bit. So I think the Titans are going to win this football game pretty handily, just based on the fact that their offense is more efficient. They score more points. Derrick Henry is just a drive continuer. Whenever they need to really extend it in the second half, hold on to the football, keep that offense on the field, run him for 5 yards a carry, keep getting first downs. He's eventually going to pop one open and get in the end zone. Derrick Henry, this is his month to shine. He's going to run away with the NFL rushing title this season. And it starts. It started 2 weeks ago. It's going to continue in week 13. AJ,
these two teams are very, very similar, like Ryan said, on everything from third down percentage. This is on offense. Third down percentage, red zone percentage against, red zone percentage for. Rushing, passing, on offense and defense. These teams are extremely similar. The Titans are a little bit better in a lot of these categories, but the margin is not huge. The biggest difference, to your point, Ryan, is points per game. Titans just put them up, and the Browns are just below average. Titans are 6th. 29.5. The Browns are 18th at 24.1. And in the NFL, 5 points is still good enough to win a game. Plus, like you said,
that is correct.
Yeah, I'm not so good with the numbers, but I'm going to stick with it. They have a rhino in the backfield, and I trust Ryan Tannehill more than I trust Baker Mayfield. Sorry to say that, Ryan, but yeah. Titans,
Blasphemy.
I think you're right. Probably pretty handily. I know, buddy.
Jeffrey?
Derrick Henry, my 2-time MVP.
He might.
Go.
Derrick Henry's a monster. Colt?
This is going to be a tale of two run games. The Browns have a Derrick Henry light in their backfield as well. A Rhino Jr. Yes, light, but Chubb, man, he's over 100 yards the last 3 games. His first 3 games back since his MCL injury. He's a great back, man. He might be I can't say the best, but top 3, I want to say, in the league as a pure runner in my book. However, the Titans do put up points. The Browns, not as efficient at doing that. I feel like this one's going to be really close, and I'm tempted to go with the Browns. However, I'm looking at the injury report. I'm looking at the weather. It looks like a crisp 45, 13% chance of rain out in Nashville. I'm looking at the injury report. I think Myles Garrett will be back for Cleveland. But they are going to be without some big names. Denzel Ward, unlikely to play. Stefanski said that Monday. Jack Conklin's questionable. My gut's telling me Titans here, but I think it's going to be close.
All righty. That was Titans chalk, I believe, correct?
Oh,
Indeed.
it was. Will that burn us?
It very well it did last week a lot.
I know. I like what I saw from Baker and Jarvis last week too, man. These guys were cooking.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield, 17 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. For as much heat as he got early in the season for chucking it to the other team, he's really cleaned that up.
He has.
In this back half. Bengals Dolphins, I don't think we need to talk too much about this, regardless of who the starting quarterback is for Miami, be it Tua, be it Fitzpatrick. I've got Dolphins by 1 billion, and so does Vegas, 11.5.
Wow.
AJ.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep. Jeff?
There he goes.
Is he back in a tree?
Good night, Jeff.
Who you got, Jeff?
What was the picks again?
Bengals Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Be it Tua, be it Fitzpatrick, be it somebody at the be it somebody at the grocery store. They just pick up off the street. They're going to beat the Bengals. Colt?
I'm taking the Dolphins too. Better team.
I think Colt could play quarterback for the Dolphins and beat the Bengals.
I might
Jaguars,
could. I'd like to try.
Yeah, I bet you can sling it around a little bit. I've never seen you throw, but I bet you could do it.
How far is it to Cincinnati?
We can make that drive in a couple days.
Yeah, probably solid 12 hours, I'm guessing. I don't know.
I mean, game's in Miami. We can go down to Florida, get some beach time.
True. Let's do that.
Yeah. I don't think I'm allowed. I'm probably not allowed to travel right now, though. So.
Oh, yeah, social distancing measures.
Yeah. We have to take separate vehicles.
Okay.
Jaguars, Vikings. Jags coming in at a robust 1-10. Vikings with Kirk Cousins. Dalvin Cook hurt. I know he went down in that
Does it matter?
Hey, it's the NFL. They're all professionals.
Yeah.
The Falcons beat the Raiders by 100. But yeah, I got the Vikings. AJ?
yeah. Let's move on. I got the Vikings.
Yeah, Jeff?
Vikings. Yeah, let's just move on.
Yeah, all right. Colt, your thoughts, Vikings? Let's go. Yeah, don't me, Colt.
Don't you me.
I was just thinking, like, should I be contrarian here? I'm just thinking.
I would love for you to do this.
Go Jags.
Oh, man, I'm so tempted to. You got the giraffe Mike Glennon back there slinging dimes to Colin 2L Johnson.
Long neck on that guy. Long neck on Mike Glennon.
Goodness gracious. Oh, man.
He can see over the offensive line.
Yes.
And this probably the top of the stadium.
This is in Minnesota, too. Like, I'm going Jaguars, man. James Robinson.
I love you so much for this.
He's going to get 25 carries, and Glennon's going to throw a couple bombs. Like, Cousins is not without his warts, too. Look what just happened last week. Carolina's defense. 2 fumble sixes in a row for a touchdown. Like, I'm going Jags,
Has that ever happened by the same player?
By the same player.
Ever happened?
Within 5 seconds of each other, I do believe, too. Like,
I was listening on the radio, and I don't understand what I heard. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I watched it happen live, and I was shocked.
Banking on that happening again. Good luck, Cole.
Oh, no, I'm not banking on it. I just acknowledging. However, Cousins is not without his turnover mistakes, too, at bay. But I'm gonna pick this one, and I'm gonna take it with pride. I'll take the Jags.
I love you so much, Colt. I hope they show up in their all-black uniforms and just roll the Vikings for that.
If I knew that would be 100% lock. Black unis, the intimidation factor.
Coming in looking fast.
Yeah. Sleek.
All right. Tough one here, too. Raiders and Jets. I've got the Raiders. Do we have to talk much about
I'll pencil you in for the Jets.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
They're
going
not
to get
pencil
him
me
one,
in for the
Jeff.
Jets.
They're going to get him one, Jeff. You keep believing. You got to pick him again.
Ow.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
I personally like this one to be a lot more competitive than most people may think. I
wouldn't disagree with that.
I do look because the Jets are kind of quietly tough to run on, and Josh Jacobs is pretty banged up. And recency bias, whenever Josh Jacobs is on the injury report, he typically doesn't play very well. He might not even play this week. They say it's an ankle sprain. Oh, he's fine. I mean, it looked brutal on the field. Devontae Booker has played really well in his stead. I'm looking for more injury news here to maybe sway me one way or the other, but it's in New York.
Let's put this into a little bit of perspective while Colt ruminates over this. Bengals Dolphins Vegas spread is Miami giving 11.5. Vikings Jaguars Minnesota giving 10. Raiders Jets, the Raiders only giving 8. Which is still a ton of points in the NFL. Let's not do anything different here.
It's a ton of points. Yeah.
But it is a much smaller point differential than minus 11.5 that the Dolphins are handing out.
It's hard for me to trust Derek Carr after seeing what I saw too. I'm going to stick with him though. Carr bounces back. Raiders pull it out.
Yep. Raiders chalk on that one. Colts Texans, a previously mentioned hot Texans team at home against the Colts after the Colts just took a whooping from the Titans. Is DeForest Buckner still out in this game? It doesn't matter. Texans run game isn't exactly the Titans run game, so we can't really we're talking apples and oranges here when it comes to those two rushing attacks. And the Texans defense is still trash despite J.J. Watt making a J.J. Watt type play on Thanksgiving. What an athletic play that was for that pick six.
Amazing.
Tipped it to himself, grabbed it, scampered. That was a scamper for a big man. That wasn't even a rumble.
Yeah, that was
a fleet-footed scamper into the end zone for J.J. Watt.
I'm
still picking the Colts in this.
He broke up a screen pass too, right? Was that what the play was?
Yeah, it was a rocket.
Okay.
And he caught it.
I saw it on the highlight reel. That was pretty nice. I thought it was a delayed screen.
Yeah, it was J.J. Watt doing what J.J. Watt does. I still pick the Colts in this game, though. I think they're just a better football team, better offensive line. AJ?
Yeah, where I'm drawn with this one is the injury report. It looks like DeForest Buckner is not even on it.
Yeah.
My concerns are Anthony Costanzo and Ryan Kelly. Ryan Kelly is out, but he was a full participant in Wednesday's practice. He's listed as out, though. Anthony
he was out last week.
Costanzo, yeah. Hopefully he'll be back. That's the quarterback of that offensive line. Super important. Costanzo's the left tackle. Probably just as important. Real quick, Rigoberto Sanchez is undergoing surgery, underwent surgery yesterday to remove a cancerous tumor. Wow. My goodness.
So on Sunday, cancer surgery on Tuesday. Yes.
Jeez.
I'm still going Colts anyway. They're depleted. The Texans are depleted at running back. Even CJ Procise didn't practice on Wednesday.
Yikes. Jeff? Colts,
I'm
Texans.
going to go Philip, good old Uncle Philip Rivers and Indianapolis Colts.
He's working on child number 12.
Thought it was 17th.
Yeah, a couple of years down the road where he's fielding the full football team. He's got to get offense, defense, potentially even special teams going. Colt, your thoughts on your namesakes versus the Texans?
I'm going with my namesakes here, man. There's nothing for me to believe that the Texans can pull this off, especially losing Will Fuller with the suspension. Even if they had Fuller, this is still a really tough matchup. The offensive line injuries do concern me for Indy. It's just I don't know how Watson's going to get it done. He is an alchemist of sorts. I could see one of the tight ends popping off in this game and catching some balls. Brandon Cooks is the de facto one. You got Kiki QT. Also, there's a name that's been thrown around similar to my namesake. I believe his name's Isaiah Coulter, spelled with a U in there, though.
Yeah.
He's a rookie speedster. They're talking about he could get some looks on the outside. All that to say, I'm still taking the Colts.
All righty. All right, this game's really interesting on the schedule out in the NFC West. Rams, Cardinals, both coming off losses. I think a lot of this hinges on the health of Kyler Murray's shoulder. He is going to downplay the significance of that injury because that is what Kyler Murray does. That is the nature of an NFL quarterback. Yeah, I'm fine. It feels okay. Yada yada yada. And then he goes out there and gets beat by a terrible New England Patriots team. But the Rams are a hit or miss squad. And I know a lot of these teams are built to beat other teams within their division because winning the division is the most important thing in the regular season. So, all that being said, I have no idea who's going to win this football game.
Ditto, yeah.
I think I'm going to pick the Rams. I really do. And I think a lot of it is the Cardinals secondary has really been unimpressive the last couple of weeks. Patrick Peterson doesn't look quite like Patrick Peterson anymore. He is getting up there in age a little bit. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods out there. They can do some things. Tyler Higbee at tight end. They've got a lot of weapons on that offense. If they can run that play action game that they ran so well a couple of weeks ago against the Bucs, I think that they are going to beat the Cardinals fairly handily. AJ?
Yeah, I'm also going to go Rams, and that's simply because of Kyler Murray's shoulder. He was limited today at practice, which, that's sort of to be expected with an injured quarterback. That said, the Cardinals defense, I cited this when they played the Seahawks, that their defense was just better. Didn't matter at all. The Seahawks stood it out as a top 5 unit, has now regressed back to the middle of the pack. Meanwhile, the Rams have vaulted up to top 5. And I think that Jared Goff is as good as an injured shoulder Kyler Murray if he can't get the ball downfield or drive the ball off that front foot and then transfer that power into the shoulder. And he gets stuck and he's throwing arm. I think Jalen Ramsey would have a field day. Secondary is playing good.
Yeah, I think Jalen Ramsey and DeAndre Hopkins is going to be a great,
what do you think?
Fun matchup to watch.
Did you ask me? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So connection's breaking up a little bit. I'm leaning the same way you guys are with Kyler. I think the Rams defense is no joke. And I think Aaron Donald's going to get back there, and he's going to cause some problems, and Kyler's going to get a little more dinged up than he even is. I mean, a lot of it swings on the status of Kyler. And I like AJ's comp to a less than 100% Kyler, Goff being a nice comp. I think the Rams can do enough on offense, and I think their defense is superior to that of the Cardinals. With a dinged up Kyler, I'm going to take the Rams.
Yeah, a dinged up Kyler Murray does a lot of things to a lot of people's predictions. Jeff, does that do anything for you?
No, I'm still going with the Rams.
Rams all the way around. Giants and Seahawks. The Giants still in contention for the wonderfully talented NFC East. I love that division so much. I still pick the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks pass rush has been rectified. I think that defensive front seven is fixed, which makes them a ridiculously scary football team. If they can put together some semblance of a pass rush and take a little bit of pressure off a secondary that struggles on a week-to-week basis, it doesn't matter when that offense is putting up 1 billion points. The Giants can't keep up. I've got Seahawks handily. AJ.
I don't think this one really bears any need for much analysis. This and the next one.
Jeff,
are we chalking Seahawks here?
I am.
Yeah.
The Giants are good. Yeah, Colt McCoy is going to start more than likely too. So
let's roll, Colt McCoy. Texas is back. Texas officially back. If Colt McCoy is getting starts under center for the G-men. Eagles, Packers by 1 billion. I'm assuming everybody's going to pick that, except everybody thought that a couple weeks ago too, and the Packers got rolled.
Yeah,
not going to happen. Go Pack.
Yeah, Pack.
Go Pack. Go. Aaron Rodgers, the sheriff, out there doing some things.
Yeah, Packers are going to roll this game. Philly looks abysmal on offense, and I don't.
Awful.
I don't think it's just Carson Wentz, because seeing some of the game, he's I feel like he's staring his receivers down, but also I don't think he has a lot of trust in some of them either. Like he was throwing a route to Alshon, and he held the ball and took a sack because in my mind he can't trust Alshon to get separation on that play. Everyone else is covered. Sack.
It's the shell of Alshon Jeffrey out there playing.
Exactly. He is
not the player he once was.
No, he's not. I'm
surprised. His offensive line is all hurt.
Exactly. So, yeah, Lane Johnson's gone. I mean, it's a number of things, but the burden is cast on Wentz's shoulders, I feel like. And, yeah, I'd say at least 50% of that. So, I don't give the Eagles much chance at all in Lambeau this week.
Neither do I. A game that could be very competitive and actually pretty fun to watch. Patriots and Chargers. Patriots 5-6, still mathematically alive out there in the AFC East to win their 500th consecutive division title. At least it feels like. I'm going to pick the Chargers again this week at 3-8 at home in Los Angeles. Justin Herbert is just putting up ridiculous video game numbers for a rookie, and he's going to win Rookie of the Year now. I firmly believe that with Joe Burrow
for sure
being hurt, unfortunately. And I just feel like that they are going to score enough points against that Patriots defense, and the Pats just don't score points. Even in their wins, they haven't scored a ton of points. And I think the Chargers get this one done. AJ?
My concern here is that the Chargers' run defense is just not good. And the Patriots are learning how best to utilize that run game. And against the Cardinals, they got super, super creative. It was fun to watch. It was like a lot like watching a Shanahan offense. They still cannot throw the football, but that sort of negates the strength of the Chargers defense, which is that secondary. So I was looking at the stats here. So the Patriots give up the 4th most yards per catch, and the Steelers give up the most. That stat must not mean much because the Steelers play pretty good defense.
All right.
My brain, my stupid brain says Patriots. I don't think they get it done without the help of the weather in New England. So I'm going to go Chargers too.
I like it. Jeffrey.
Don't ask that question. You know who I'm going with.
So Patriots for Jeff from the clouds.
Better not.
I assume that was Chargers.
Obviously.
That's even money right now in Vegas. Even money, Patriots and Chargers.
I'm still not going
Colt-
to go for them.
Colt, your thoughts on the Patriots and Chargers? And I've got a question for you fantasy-wise.
Okay. I'm a little torn on this game because I feel like Belichick is going to cause problems for Herbert. Somehow, some way, he will scheme a defense. They're going to bracket Keenan Allen. But they have Austin Eckler back. That makes a big difference. As AJ so appropriately mentioned, that the Chargers' run defense is not good. Their strength is in the secondary. They have Chris Harris back. Patriots can't really throw the ball. Cam does not look good as a passer. It's so a question. The Niners can't play in their home stadium because of COVID, correct?
Correct.
So can the Chargers play in their stadium, or is this like a statewide California thing?
I do believe the Chargers are still playing in Los Angeles. It's
Okay.
a dome, I think.
Okay, just curious. I'm going to take the Chargers here. Not by much.
Chalk on the Chargers.
Yeah, it's close.
That could
I lean
burn
Chargers.
us all.
I think it might. What's your question? Hit me.
My question is James White for the Patriots. Do I play him this week? He had a good week last week against the Cardinals. As you said, the Chargers' run defense is not good. Do I sneak him somewhere into my lineup?
Trusting a New England running back is always tricky. They have their defined roles now. Without Burkhead, he's on IR. White is in the Burkhead role, not just his prototypical James White role, which is why he got those 2 rushing touchdowns, in my opinion, because Burkhead they use on the goal line too. I don't think it's out of the question. White has a lot of upside with receptions out of the backfield. As we know, Cam can't really throw. He can certainly check down to the running backs. Is there a particular guy you're debating on starting him over? Is this a tough call?
It is a little bit of a tough call because of the diminished role of Alvin Kamara in that Saints offense. And David Montgomery being all the Bears really have to offer. I have a potential running back and flex position that I am having questions about with DJ Shark in the flex. Maybe DJ Moore, move Shark up into Moore's spot, have that flex open, and then potentially I've got Kamara and Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt's had a couple of down games since Nick Chubb has been back. So I've got some things I need to think about in the next couple of days.
Yeah, definitely so, man. And we can talk a little more afterwards too, because I'm
all right. Outside issue, I understand. Outside issue. All right, so that's chalk on the Chargers in that one. I'm assuming we're going to go chalk on the Chiefs and Chiefs-Broncos Sunday night.
Yeah.
Do we even have to ask?
I think Broncos.
Oh, Jeff, I can hear you.
Oh,
I
God,
think
don't start
Broncos are
with
going to cover the spread. They're going to cover the spread at 14 because the Chiefs get ahead by 21 and they just give up a couple garbage times and win by 7. But the Chiefs do win this football game. AJ.
I mean, do we have to go through this?
No, we
fellas?
don't. I don't think so.
Do we have to go through the next one? Fellas?
I don't think we do either. Steelers football team. Steelers moving to 12-0. AJ,
I'm agreed on both of these.
Here's my question, AJ. Are you getting itchy about 16-0 in this football season?
No, not even a little. not even a little bit.
You say they drop one.
I say they absolutely drop one. Tomlin called out their effort, and I quote, "junior varsity versus a depleted Ravens team," and I think we might see that again at some point. They show up for some games. They don't. Being 12 or being 11-0 is absolutely amazing to me because they play up to good teams and down to bad teams. And they've caught a lot of breaks. This is not a dominant football team outside of what that defense has done. And even then, they've given up some head scratchers with Lamar Jackson in that game tonight. I think the Steelers lose that. So, they're very, very vulnerable. Probably the worst undefeated team this far into a season that I've seen. There haven't been that many.
Fair enough, but I do think they get the job done this week against the football team on Monday. Everybody in agreement?
It won't be this week.
No.
Yeah.
No. Bills and 49ers. Bills and 49ers in Arizona on Monday night. This one getting the double network treatment, ESPN and ABC. Buffalo favored by 1.5. 49ers technically the home team on an away field. I've still got the Bills in this one. I doubted the Bills last week. Not going to do it again. Josh Allen, that defense playing pretty well. Let's go Bills. AJ.
Yeah, let's go Bills. The way the 49ers beat the Rams last week, 7 points came off of I love to see a big boy eating, but Javon McKinley took one to the house. Not going to happen again. I'm gonna go Bills here. As much as I'd love to see Javon Kinley take one to the house every single game, because I love a big man a rumbling and a stumbling. But yeah, I gotta go.
Don't we all needing the oxygen after that long trip?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jeff, your thoughts on Bills 49ers?
Go Bills.
Real quick,
Good thoughts.
Love it.
Colt.
I'm going to be the contrarian. I'm taking Niners here.
Good for you.
I think they create quite a problem for Josh Allen in the offense. And as well, John Brown is on IR. And from what I've seen this year of Josh Allen as a quarterback, he doesn't play the same when John Brown's not on the field. He just doesn't. Similar to that Rule 11 with Matt Ryan and Julio, but not quite magnified that much. I like the Niners, man. I think they can do enough on offense. Debo's out there rumbling. They got Brandon Street Fighter Ayuk coming back off the COVIDs. Sherman's back. Mostert's back. I'm going Niners.
I like that pick. I really do. And all of this can change in the next
I do too.
12 hours.
Yeah, it can, yeah. So I have an excuse for when they lose next week, right?
Yeah,
do
absolutely.
No.
Well, So and so was
AJ's
back.
got that one highlighted. AJ's got that one highlighted for
No
your
excuses.
sins for next week.
Please do.
I have the Jaguars highlighted. You will.
Nice. Nice. I can't wait. I hope it comes to fruition as a win.
Oh, I would start writing the speech right now if I were you, Colt.
It's going to be very Mike Lennon centric, and something to do with Colin 2L Johnson.
Love that. Absolutely love that. You know what I also love, gentlemen, is Tuesday night football.
Yeah.
Tuesday night football.
Let's get it.
It's the latest craze, man.
Dalton and the Red Rocket bringing his rocket into Baltimore with the Ravens because they just played tonight. They get a couple extra days. They don't have to play again. This one got flexed out from Thursday night to Tuesday night because they just didn't feel like playing 2 NFL football games in a row in 2 days. Don't understand that logic.
Yeah. Jeez.
What are we doing? Can't play 2 football games in 2 days. Ronnie Lott cut his whole finger off to finish the season.
Right.
Oh, those were the days.
Yeah.
Yeah. It depends on if Lamar Jackson passes COVID protocol before this game happens on Tuesday. If he actually tested positive, there's a good chance he ain't going to be back on Tuesday. So we may see RG3. We may see Trace McSorley. We may see Lamar Jackson. Who knows what's going to happen with the Ravens, but I do think they can still run the football on that Cowboys defense. And the Cowboys have just flat out given up. They have quit this season. So I'm picking the Ravens at home in Baltimore. Red Rocket be damned. AJ.
Yeah, if Lamar Jackson plays, this isn't a question. That secondary was incredible. Made so many plays. They made Deontay Johnson look stupid on a handful of passes there.
Deontay Johnson also made Deontay Johnson look stupid.
He did at times, yeah.
Yeah. I'm still going Ravens. Still have to go Ravens here, especially they're at home. And like Colt said, that doesn't make a huge difference because there is no crowd. But they're going to have all of their comforts of home. And that team comes to play. Unlike what the Steelers did, that team comes ready to play. And they're physical, which is the opposite of the Cowboys. So, yeah, Ravens. I'm going to cite stats. No need.
That is another defense that came into play tonight with basically nothing and no hope to play for. And they came out and they showed up and they played tough in that game against the Steelers. I was very impressed by that defense. Jeff.
Be more.
Be more it is.
Be more what?
That's my pick.
Be more better at football.
I thought you were giving an order. I wasn't positive on that one.
Belay that order.
Yes. Colt, your thoughts?
I'm going Ravens, man. It's not particularly close, no matter who plays quarterback in my mind. With the Cowboys traveling to Baltimore, and watching the secondary play tonight, I mean, the defense as a whole, and they should only get more pieces back. I only watched the first half of the game this afternoon on the 3:40 window, but Ravens D definitely came to play, and I think more is going to be asked of them from Harbaugh, especially if they're having these quarterback concerns, if Lamar can't go and RG3's hurt, whatnot. I don't see a lot of upside on the Cowboys here. I'll take Ravens.
All right. That is
I actually do see a fair amount of upside for the Cowboys. I do see the Cowboys. I think there is no line on this yet.
No, not yet.
But
not yet.
Something tells me that the Cowboys are actually going to come to play in this game.
Really?
They got a ton of time to prepare for this.
Mm-hmm.
That scares me a little bit. I don't know if Mike McCarthy's going to have these troops ready to go necessarily.
He's gonna
but
go out
just the amount
there.
of time to prepare.
He's going to go out there and smash some more watermelons
I don't
and
know
drop
if
some more
they-
fake punts.
Love it. Love a good fake punt.
Oh man, that was bad.
It was actually
Better
not
than
that bad.
Real punts.
Well, it's just the field positioning of it and everything. It's just
They had a guy wide open. All the dude had to do was throw the football. And he
right.
just didn't. I've watched that play several times. They had a guy out there running a route legally. All the guy with the ball had to do was throw it. And it could have been a touchdown.
Fair enough.
It wasn't as bad as it looked.
I guess I literally just got home from work and cut the TV on and it was still on. And I saw the field positioning and I saw that the play didn't go down. And I was just like, wow. Immediately I thought it was a bad call.
Yeah.
But
Field
digging
position
deeper,
wise, questionable. But if you actually look at it from above and you see
okay.
a guy had run a route. I watched a prominent NFL expert, former player, walk it through. And all this gunner had to do, rolling around, he had a dude wide open, 30 yards down the field. Lob it up there to him. All he's got to do is beat the return man with one move, and that's a touchdown.
Okay.
And then they only lose by like 22 instead of 29.
Holy Antonio Gibson, man. Wow. Finally, a true breakout game from him.
Yeah, good thing. Good job from the rookie.
Yeah.
Good stuff from the rookie. Good stuff from this podcast. That's all of our games. Anybody have any final thoughts before we move on?
Ryan tested positive for COVID-19.
I am a COVID haver at the moment. Hopefully, T's and P's, a future COVID survivor.
Let's hope my test results come up negative.
Yes,
Mine too.
T's and P's for results.
Close contacts.
Oh, boy.
I hope
Next
all you
week
guys
could be-
are all right, man.
Next
I
week
just want to
could be
shout out
doozy.
the flu game here for Ryan. Check out the Twitter. There's a reference to this. Just want to shout you out, Ryan. Also,
I appreciate
congrats on
that.
COVID.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It was the best Christmas present I could put under the tree that I put on our Twitter feed.
I hadn't seen this. I have to look.
Yeah, check out the tree. Make sure you look
You're
at
gonna want to.
Make sure you look at all of the ornaments, top to especially the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah. On that note, thanks for listening to Shall We Football, because when the question is, shall we football? Gentlemen, what's that answer?
You better believe it.
Oh, yeah.
A resounding Macho Man Randy Savage yes.
Like that.
Don't forget, you can find us on all major podcast platforms. Tell your moms, your wives, your boyfriends, your girlfriends, whatever you have in your life, even a lady at the grocery store. Like, subscribe to us on the Shall We Football Podcast YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at SWF_podcast. And with that, a very happy and corona-filled good night.